Hello, thank you for being here. If you are watching this, then you must have received the February 2023 newsletter for Elemental. I wanted to read to you, so go ahead if you need to pause this and get set up to take a walk or make yourself a hot beverage. I'm having some lemon and hot water right now. But I wanted to read Matt's recent reflection called Aiming at the Blur. I know we really enjoy creating these long form writings and know that sometimes it's hard to make the time to sit down and read through these. So we just wanted to read it together. So keep this in mind. Matt did write this, so the perspective will be just a little bit different with me reading it on his behalf. And yeah, so I'll just go ahead and get started. You will have received this if you are in the Elemental community. And if you need a link to that, let us know. It's also on our website, join our community, I think at the top. So, all right, here we go. Oh, one more thing. And I think this is my last one more thing. But if you're watching this now, then you're a part of the early days before we get into podcasting. That is on my list of things to learn and to do. And in the meantime, I'm doing recorded Zoom meetings. So thank you for being along for the journey. All right, aiming at the blur. We just bought a house. You read that correctly. Right on the cusp of transitioning into full-time mobile living in our van, we bought a house. Side note, I'm in the house right now. Okay, back to the reading. After a year of camping and living part-time out of my Honda Element, Matt's Honda Element, and then making the terrifying and exhilarating decision to go all in on our van Luna and traveling over 20,000 miles in the next year, it seems counterintuitive. But intuition and manifestation can operate in seemingly mysterious ways that don't feel or look at all logical, even when they really are. New Harmony, Indiana has been a key place of refuge for us. Leslie and I have together and separately experienced an all-encompassing period of transformation over the past 3 years. We both made independent decisions to listen to our deep inner knowing and follow our true path that we had been ignoring for so much of our lives. For me, the result of these big changes shook up everything in my life and meant a necessary period of hiding and detachment from most everything I knew. Keep in mind, I'm still reading from Matt's perspective, but I did also go through something similar. All right. In the city where I was born and raised and lived for all of my life, I felt very exposed, misunderstood, and unsafe. New Harmony was a place that was far enough away to feel safe, but close enough to still feel like home. Plus, the artistic, cultural, historical, and spiritual energy that flows through it fed and nourished me as I healed, transformed, and grew. One of my big epiphanies during the transition from my former life is that I needed to heal my relationship with the concept of ownership. This is a topic for a future reflection, but in short, I never saw myself being a homeowner again. Following this realization and the attachment to the perceived safety, security, and power behind the owning of a home or property, the possibility of living mobily emerged as a start to that healing process. The nomadic lifestyle really brought me alive and fed the elemental way of life that felt right to me. Listening to my inner knowing and liberating myself into this new way of living opened me up to seeing the concept of ownership in a different way, a way that could serve both Leslie and I and serve others at the same time. Since we could live nomadically in a van, we could invest in properties that we share with others through short-term rentals. The revenue from the short-term rentals could be reinvested into ourselves as a temporary place to live and dock the van when we're in town, and also be able to serve as a safe space for others in need of respite and retreat. We could leverage our power and privilege to make ownership work for us the way that we want to serve in this world. Together, we developed a business plan to support this way of life. We put a lot of work into it, especially Leslie, who wrote the vast majority of it while in quarantine with COVID last year. We searched for partners, property, financing, etc., and it just didn't take off. In hindsight, we can now see that we were trying too hard. The timing wasn't right, and the universe was telling us that we weren't ready. The process of manifestation has its own, sometimes mysterious way of working that requires patience, awareness, listening, and surrender to the sometimes quite blurry destination. Hot water pause. Okay. We shifted our focus to continuing to travel in the Honda Element, serve our current clients, and start to develop the ideas for our retreats and content to serve the early stages of our growing audience. We listened and continued to lean into our inner knowing of service and creating safe spaces of transformation for ourselves and others. We made this space in our lives to manifest a more sustainable, mobile lifestyle. We bought the van, traveled extensively, went on a 330-mile bike ride, ran an ultramarathon, attended Lewis Howes's Summit of Greatness, and continued to do necessary but scary things that feed our true elemental nature. Along the way, meeting people that inspired, encouraged, and transformed us, all while still holding on to and expressing the big picture vision of how we wanted to live. We were manifesting and attracting a series of events that would ultimately lead to an unlikely encounter we'll explain later. So much about manifestation is about creating space and allowing what's meant for you in a state of positivity. Positivity is expanding and negativity is constricting. This means that being in a positive, receptive state creates more space for big and beautiful things to emerge for you. When we talk about positivity, we are not talking about always being happy or glossing over terrible or unjust things or ignoring or forcing away your feelings. It's about being in a state of high vibration and love, not judging what comes up for you and allowing yourself to complete your emotional cycles and making decisions that serve your deep inner needs and desires for living. As human beings, we are in a constant state of attraction. There is a force deep inside of us that we are born with that has a magnetic charge, a direction, even a desire to be seen, heard, and felt on its way to coming into fruition through us. Some call it soul, some call it genius, or even a calling of fate. In the Soul's Code, James Hillman calls it the daemon, a guardian angel type entity. Hillman conceived the daemon as a psychological complex or force existing in everyone, whose function is to help remind us of our personal calling and provide us with the motivation to follow it. Leslie and I call it our elemental nature. We named our business after it, and I feel so strongly about it in a large part because of the power of manifestation as the byproduct of attraction. Attraction acts according to the laws of physics. Although we have researched and read extensively about the physics behind it, we are not physicists, however, we do believe it's important to be reminded that there are physical laws at work here. It's also important to know that you do not have to understand physics in order to practice it and benefit from it in your daily life. The basic concept is that what you focus your energy on, you'll attract. The power of that attraction and the ease on which you'll attain the source of your focus has everything to do with your personal truth and how authentically you are living it. This means the more you understand yourself and live in accordance with your true elemental nature, the more powerfully and effortlessly you'll attract and manifest what's beautiful, joyous, fulfilling, and abundant for you in a way that brings you fully alive. Conversely, a lack of self-knowledge or distracted and unconscious living can and will cause you to attract people, places, and things that do not serve you and cause you additional pain and suffering. Negative attracts negative, positive attracts positive. It's easy to get caught up in the cyclical nature of negative loops. The longer you go down the road that wasn't meant for you, the harder it is to turn back. This concept of manifestation has been very much at the forefront of our focus this year, both directly and indirectly. We've experienced so much transformation and growth in such a short time. We study it, we practice it, we fail at it. And so often these days, we revel in the wonder and awe that comes in the wake of manifesting just what you need, right when you need it, even and most especially when it doesn't adhere to the form or the timeline of exactly what you intended. This brings us back to the unlikely encounter. Once we set up and fully committed to the life of service that we envision, started to develop the tools we needed to communicate our vision, and hosted our first retreat, we had a chance encounter with someone who had registered for our next retreat while having a spontaneous coffee in New Harmony. This retreat happens to be in 2 weeks. 1 week. 1 week. Oh my gosh. Okay, back to the reading. This person just happened to know about a small, affordable rental property for sale just 2 blocks from where we sat. 5 hours later, we were signing a purchase agreement. It happened, just like that. We were in a high vibration and we could feel it. Something we had tried so hard to make happen directly in a very specific way we had envisioned happened all on its own, indirectly, while we were focusing on love and service. This is just the most recent in a long list of people, places, and things that we've manifested in our lives, not by attaching ourselves and grasping at a specific outcome, rather a focus on doing the work of self-discovery to know our elemental nature, how we intend to show up and serve in the world, and focus on the bigger picture of love and vision. We are working to live the conversation between specificity and the big picture. I've come to think of this as aiming at the blur, meaning Not getting hung up on a specific way that the manifestation of what you're attracting has to look, but focusing on the intended outcome and how you wish to feel, allowing the universe to guide you in fleshing out the details. Time and time again, when we show up for ourselves first and then others in accordance with our individual and shared values, we get exactly what we wanted, but oftentimes in a form that we couldn't have known we needed. Only as we propel ourselves closer and ready ourselves to receive does the true outcome that was meant for us come into focus and reveal itself. Oof, that gets me every time. So questions for you. And these are really great for journal prompts just to think about if you're sitting here listening to this, watching it. If you have a notebook nearby, you can write the questions down, come back to them later. If you're walking, you can think about these. I know that a lot of time reflection is, it really flows whenever I'm moving. So whether it be running, walking, whatever, yoga especially. So questions for you. What is your vision for this new year? And what would you love to attract and manifest into your life? Second question. Have you ever received something that you didn't know you needed, or in a form that was different than what you thought you needed? And third, tell us about your thoughts on manifestation or the law of attraction. Do you have any of your own definitions? If you've worked with Matt and I before, or you know us, then you'll know that we really love defining things, especially words and concepts, really making them your own, because that's, how we move through the world is through our perspective. And so when we understand how we define things, especially our values, things like love, success, vision, manifestation, all these things, then it can help us better navigate day to day. It also helps us better understand other people. So I was aiming for the blur. And I think we'll start reading the reflections and sending them. I know we've had some people express that they would prefer listening than reading too. So let us know if you wanted to share your answers to these questions with us. If you have any additional questions for us, if you have something else emerges for you whenever you're listening to this or reading this, let us know. And then again, if you receive this or you're watching this, then you probably saw our newsletter, but just in case, I wanted to just kind of touch base on some of the things that we have coming up. So first, the renewal retreat. That is going to be our first 2-day virtual retreat, and it is happening on Friday, March 10th and Saturday, March 11th, 2023. We do not have the full schedule posted just yet, but it will be the majority of each day, like 8:30 to 4 p.m.-ish. And we'll provide itineraries and worksheets and journal prompts, movement recommendations. And we have a lineup of speakers that is absolutely incredible. They are thought leaders, and they're people who are passionate about wellness. They're passionate about transformation. They're passionate about transforming you, transforming me, transforming themselves, transforming the world. We'll be making our speaker announcement on Tuesday, February 7th. We have the link available in our website right now for you to subscribe. Anyone who subscribes will be notified first when tickets go on sale on February 14th, and you'll receive a 20% discount code. All tickets for the retreat are going to be buy one, get one free. So you can, as soon as you check out, then you'll receive that buy one, get one code. You do not have to attend live. I recommend it just because it'll be the energy of knowing that other people are on the camera with you. But if your schedule does not allow, then we're going to post this like a course in our system. So all of the downloads, all of the worksheets, all of the presentations will be recorded and uploaded into a folder so you can watch them at your own time. And if you buy a ticket and you do attend live, you'll have access to go rewatch any of your favorite speakers. Next, aiming at the blur. We covered that. The Harmony House. That was what Aiming at the Blur was all about. That's where I am right now. We are so excited to be sharing this space, and we'll be launching probably in the next few weeks. We have our first guest staying next week, which has been kind of our deadline. We're super excited. We have everything almost ready. And so we're also, if you're interested, if you're in the area and you wanted to host a 1-day workshop or gathering, or needed the space, or just need a space for yourself, this is a perfect space to do that. We have a link on our website right now. I think it's called Harmony House at the top, but if you have questions, let us know. Next thing, yoga. We now have a monthly virtual yoga membership. We'll be doing classes on Tuesday evenings from 6 p.m. to 6:45 Central. Classes might be shorter than that. We'll just kind of see how it flows. It's going to be really focused on slowing down, restoration, mindful movement. I think we'll incorporate a lot of practices that you can do, just even some of them in bed. Really simple, really focused. We just want to be in our bodies. That's the same thing. You can attend live, or you can just watch the archive of classes. Once you sign up, you'll have a Zoom link to join live, or we'll post the recordings in the product platform. And then now through March 8th on Wednesdays, I'll be teaching live at Black Lodge Coffee Roasters in New Harmony, Indiana. It's $15 per class, and we are focusing on the chakras, which are the energy centers of the body. Finally, save the dates for the rest of the retreats that we have planned for the year. So we'll be between New Harmony, Indiana and Old Fort, North Carolina. In New Harmony, we are really excited to be hosting a one-day workshop at the Barn Abbey on Friday, April 21st. In May, we're going to be collaborating with a friend and local photographer, Casey Fanton, for a one-day workshop, probably at the Harmony House. We do not have the date yet, so we'll keep you posted on that. June 29th through July 2nd will be a retreat at Indigo Nature Retreat in Old Fort, North Carolina. We'll likely be focusing on the summer solstice and just kind of resetting, doing yoga, doing some hikes, things like that. The next one is October 12th through 15th back at Indigo. And then December 20th through 21st will be a winter solstice. I'm sorry, December 20th through 22nd will be a winter solstice retreat proper, because the solstice is on the 21st, and we will be at the Barn Abbey in New Harmony, Indiana. We are so excited for that. I think it's a Wednesday through Friday. Save the date. We don't have any of the details available yet to sign up, but if you're on our newsletter, or if you're seeing this video elsewhere, get on our website, subscribe to the community, join the newsletter, and you'll have all the dates and get access to the pre-sale pricing. We'll share more details whenever we have them. Thank you so much for being here. We are sending you all love and vision. If you're walking, enjoy your walk. If you're having a tea, enjoy your tea, coffee, whatever. Good morning, afternoon, good night. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much.